Hello, tubers and tubettes. My name is David, and I live in Northern California. On my channel, California Pool Designer, is about me selling pools. I've been doing it for 40 years, and with the same company I started 28 years ago. I think I had to say 29 years now. Today we have a mandatory sales meeting at 10 o'clock. I always end up getting there on time and ahead of time. A lot of times I'm the only person that shows up other than the owner. Everyone's got excuses of why they can't make it, so doctor's appointments, they're on an appointment, they have a sign up. So it's very frustrating for the owner. But I'm very dependable. I'm always going to be there. I can make myself available as long as I know ahead of time. And I'll just reschedule, even doctor's appointments, I'll just reschedule them to be there at these meetings. Now, I am kind of nervous about going to the meeting because we don't have them that often, maybe once a month. But we're going to be starting them up because we're starting to sell pools. Or I should say I'm starting to sell pools. I'm not sure about the other guys. I've been told that nobody else is selling pools. So my concern is two concerns. One is talking about my big job that I just turned in. It's like a $168,000 job. I mean, we have it all dialed in, but I had heard that the old man got really freaking out about where he's going to put the jets or something inside the spa. He tends to do this so that it makes them feel important, I mean, I can always give it to another pool company and they can figure it out. It's not that hard. The venturies are like 14 inches, so the wall has to be 16 inches. That's basically all it is. So when he was talking to his son and then also our job superintendent, they were like, this is not a problem. But he was really freaking out over it. And I said, man, if he freaks out with me, I'm gonna be really upset because I would rather have a thank you, for turning that in and helping the company. The other thing that is a possibility is that we may have a price increase. He talked about changing the pricing of the pools, and as we get into the summertime, it is kind of expected that the discount will go down. But sometimes he'll bring out all new price sheets because our price sheet is probably a couple of years old. But the discount is, like right now, it's like 10%. So sometimes it'll go down to 8%, so 2% less, and that's the increase, the price increase. So I expect that at some point that's going to happen, but it's always really tough because I just literally have given people estimates, and so they have to have some burn-in time. Normally it'd be nice to have 30 days so that anybody I have signed up, I can lock them in for 30 days. I tell the customer that it's a 15-day lock-in, and I'll talk to the owner if I have a problem with it. So that's my other concern, is that this meeting might be about a price increase, or God forbid we have to get another price book, because then I've got to sit there and look through all these different items and find out where he's increased prices and where he's, mostly where he's increased prices. And a lot of times the increase reflects that they don't want to sell something, or they had a problem with something, so they'll just really mark it up. I know, like when we put a pool, I think 12 inches out of the, we raised a spa 12 inches out of the ground. It's something like $8,000, which it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's so expensive. And so the idea is they don't want to raise them out of the ground, so they have that price a little bit higher. So for safety reasons, it is better to be flush, but for design reasons, people like to have it raised. But you always have the issue of the water wants to go back to the lowest level, so the water always is trying to go back to the level of the pool. So you've got to have check valves in there on the suction and return sides so that the water doesn't find a way to get back down to the lower level. And sometimes it could be like a twig or something gets stuck inside that check valve, and so it may lose water, but it may be like an inch, every 12 hours. That's not unusual. That's not bad. But if it was at the same level as the pool, we don't have to put check valves and all that other crap in there. So we'll see what happens, whether we're going to have a price increase or whether we're going to have a new cost sheets, for our price book, or whether they're going to talk about my job. I do not want to hear about my job because it's a great job for the company. There's a lot of money in it, and anybody can figure out how to put jets inside of a wall. I mean, if you can't figure out how to put jets inside of a wall, you need to not be a pool builder. So I just heard through the grapevine, through my superintendent, that he was freaking out. And of course his son's not going to bring it up to me because it's just a dumb thing to even be freaking out about. And I just don't want to say something. A lot of times I will not say something at the meeting because it gets so frustrating. You've got an 80-year-old man that is still trying to run the business. And he backs it financially, so of course he has the right to do it. But his son literally owns the business now. But he's constantly, just like an 80-year-old guy would be, trying to sound important and relevant. But it can be very frustrating. I remember talking to my job superintendent, and there was a time where I would bring a job in and I'd say, well, I'm not sure how this is going to work, exactly. And I'm not expected to because I'm a designer. I'm not a pool builder. But I used to be a pool builder. And I mean, I've dug them, plumbed them, steeled them. I ran the gunite rig, poured concrete. So I know the technical part of how to put stuff together because I used to be a pool builder. But that can also be dangerous too, because sometimes I'll say it needs to be done this way, and then they're telling me, well, or I find out later it was done a different way. And there's multiple ways things can be done. It's just nice to tell the customer, how you think it's going to be done, and hopefully it's going to be done that way. So if it's something major, I'll talk it over with the job superintendent and make sure I got it clear before we move forward on it. The worst thing is to think that you got it all figured out and then you don't have it figured out. I mean, on that one pool, I'm doing side views, of how the step needs to be. So we have a total of 7 inches from the top of the cap of the spa down to the first step. And nobody gets that detailed in it. You've got to know how much the water line, where the water line is, what's above the water line, how thick is the concrete, how much can you curve or cove and curve the top of the step. So those are all real technical things, but I drew a little side view of it, but mostly talked it over with the job superintendent. He can take care of it. It really is not that big of a deal. So that's always an issue. There's a lot of things that the owner wants to do a certain way, like he doesn't want to put a light inside of a bench. And the reasoning is if you're sitting on the bench and your legs are in front of that light, it kind of makes these really weird shadows all over the rest of the pool. But it's not that they can't be put in there, and sometimes you have no control because if you don't put them in there, there's no place to put a light, and they want to have 2 lights. I have a job that I'm supposed to sign up tomorrow that's exactly that. So these lights, they go inside of a bench on a spa, so there's no reason that it can't go inside of a bench on a pool. I mean, other than the shadowing from your legs. And as long as the people are aware of it, and I may even have them sign off on it, then that's what's most important. We have a lot of different rules that the owner doesn't want to have a skimmer. That's the thing that sucks the leaves inside of it. He doesn't want to have it on a raised bond beam, and he doesn't want to have it on rock. I have mine on my own pool, and it's in rock. We just did a little thing around it to hold the dirt back, and then it's notched into the side of the pool in rock. But he doesn't want to see it in rock. So sometimes if you got a rock waterfall, you got beam rock, and you got a raised wall, you don't have any choice. You have to put it in a certain place. So that's always the issue. Not what you can do, but what you're kind of second guessing what the owner wants to have done. His little idiosyncrasies, and as he's getting older, it's getting worse because, like I said, when I first started, I used to have these issues or kind of concerns like, how is this going to work? Is this going to work? Can this work? And he would pretty much be, yeah, no, it's not a problem. We're just going to do this, and it's going to be done. But now, he would rather take and magnify no problem and make it sound like it is a problem. So I'll be going to this meeting, kind of hoping that I don't have to flip out. A lot of times I will not talk because, you know, how do you logically argue with stupid? So I don't want to create a bad taste or say something that I need to take back, but it's really hard when you're dealing with some of these problems. You know, the correct response on selling a pool that is that much and has, you know, a lot of money in the pool to be built when other people are not even selling it. The right response is thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate you working and getting it. But if I have to listen to a bunch of crap, it's going to be bad. So anyway, just wanted to vent that out and get that out there. Thank you for following me. Subscribe if you can, so we can stay together. And I look forward to talking to you after this meeting. Thank you much, and have a great day.